Hello, I'm Di Cope from Super Lucky Blog, and this is my guide to finding, entering and winning competitions on Twitter. If you're new to Twitter, please watch my beginner's guide first, which will introduce you to the basics of the platform. In this video, I'll be showing you how to enter different kinds of Twitter competitions and make sure that you're doing the right thing. I'll show you how to find Twitter competitions, how to use Tweetdeck, and also I'll give you a bit of guidance as to how promoters actually choose the winner, which will give you a bit of insight into what you can do to give yourself the best chance of winning competitions. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment below. I'll also leave some handy links in the description. I've recorded this using a Chrome browser on a MacBook, but I know that a lot of you will be using mobile devices, so it will be slightly different. If you've got any questions, just ask. I hope you enjoy it. Let's start by looking at the different kinds of competitions that you find on Twitter, starting with the simplest. I've already found some example competitions and I've got them in different tabs, so I'm going to work through them and show you how to enter them properly. The simplest kind of competition to enter is just liking a tweet. All you need to do for this one is like the tweet. To do that, simply click the heart. That's all you need to do for that. Easy. The next kind that you're going to come across quite frequently is follow and retweet. For this one here, Homestyle Magazine, for your chance to enter, simply RT, that means retweet, and follow. Now here you've got to follow two accounts. It says at the top here, I'm already following Homestyle Magazine. I also need to follow Silent Night Beds. When you see a highlighted link like this in a tweet, you can hover over it and check to see if you're following. If you're not, you can simply click there to follow. So I'm following both accounts. All I need to do is scroll down and click the retweet button. For a retweet competition, do not add a comment. As soon as you add a comment to a retweet, it means it doesn't appear as a proper retweet on the promoter's list of retweets. So don't add a comment. Just click the retweet button and you're done. When you've done that, the arrows will turn green, you're entered. The promoter will see you on that list of retweets. You might also see on Twitter companies asking you to share a post. That can be confusing. The reason it's there is because they're running that competition on Facebook as well. And what they do is they write the same information and they will post it simultaneously on their Facebook page and on their Twitter account. So if you see like our page, that actually means follow our page to enter. So for this one, you would follow the page and then share the post. Share the post means retweet, of course. So like and share on Facebook, follow and retweet on Twitter. Another way to enter is sending a reply to a tweet. Now, some people call this a comment. So you might see people asking you to RT and reply, like this one, or retweet and comment. It means the same thing, essentially. And for this one, simply type your reply. They have not mentioned a hashtag, so all you need to do is send a reply. They don't actually mention here that you've got to follow the account, but I always recommend you do follow the account, so it's easy for them to message you if you're the winner. In addition, you need to retweet this one too. Make sure you don't forget. So you've retweeted and replied, you're entered in that one. Here's another example, just showing a reply competition. Here, Toby Toemaster are actually asking you to follow, retweet and comment. That means exactly the same thing. So you would retweet, make sure you're following the account, and then a comment is the same thing. Simply write your comment in the box. They're not mentioning any hashtag. That's all you need to do. Now, when you reply to a competition, sometimes you might need to answer a question. You can see what everybody else has answered or replied by simply scrolling down. If you're on a mobile device, tap the tweet and then scroll down to see all the replies. So if you haven't got time to work out the answer, you can pretty much guess what the answer is by scrolling down, and then you can copy and paste it as your own answer. That saves you a bit of time. Something you'll see quite frequently on Twitter is where you're asked to tag in a friend so the promoter can spread the word about their competition. You'll usually do this as a reply, although sometimes you might be able to do it as a retweet with a comment. This competition here is asking me to follow the page and then tag my DIY best friend using the hashtag monochrome. So for this one, I'm going to tag my usual Twitter comping buddy, Natty Lara, and then just add on the hashtag before I send it. For this competition, all you need to do is use the Aldi Wine Club hashtag. So I'm going to copy and paste that to make sure I spell it correctly. If you're using a mobile device, quite often what I do is tap on the hashtag so it appears in the search bar at the top, and then I will tap to copy that and then go back to write a tweet and paste it in to make sure that I don't spell it wrong. Not too bad with this one because it's short, but some hashtags can be really long. So I'm going to reply to Aldi here, and I'm just going to paste in that hashtag that I saved and reply. If you want to see who else is tweeting about that hashtag, simply click on it or tap on it and you can see the latest tweets from that hashtag, so you can see who's entering that competition. Now, earlier I mentioned how quote tweets don't appear in a list of retweets. So if a promoter is running a retweet competition and they choose using a tool from retweets, quote tweets will not be seen. Now, sometimes promoters will specifically say to quote tweet, this Carling competition, for example. Now, for this one, you need to quote the tweet, tag the Premier League team you support, say why you want to win. What I always do if I do quote a tweet for a competition is tag in the original promoter as well. So I will tag in Carling. If you do a quote tweet and you don't tag, the promoter only sees it in their all notifications list. However, if you add a tag, they will see it in their mentions. Now, mentions are more important. A lot of people only ever check their mentions on Twitter. They don't look at all notifications because they don't want to know about the retweets or who's following them or who's liking tweets. It's the mentions that's important. So if you're quote tweeting, mention the account as well. Right, let's enter this one then. So to quote tweet, click on retweet and then add a comment at the top. Okay, so I'm going to ask for Brighton and Hove Albion shirt because, well, I support Birmingham City, but they're not Premier League. So make sure you're tagging in the right account. There, official BHAFC. So I've said the team I support, why I want to win. I've also added a little creepy line at the end, thanks for the great comp, Carling, just to make sure they see it in their mentions. Now for this competition, it's a bit trickier. They want you to follow and retweet with your favourite animated character using a hashtag. Now, usually I would probably quote tweet this, use the hashtag and tag in the account. But I want to send a GIF and I can't send a GIF in a quote tweet. When you quote tweet, all you can do is add text and emojis. So can't do that. So what I'm going to do is retweet and then I'm going to reply using that hashtag and add a GIF. So I'll start with the retweet. So I want to add a GIF to my reply. Click add a GIF and then you can search here. I'm going to search for the character name and the film name. And click to send. Here's another one from Aldi. This time it's a photo competition. Send a photo of the Aldi dads you know for a chance to win £50 to treat them. So I've scrolled down, click to add a photo there, and then just choose. I've got quite a lot of folders, random photos of my dad, which I use for Father's Day. I'm going to use that one there. Now, they don't mention here that you need to put the hashtag in, but I'm going to put it in anyway. Now, when you tweet a photo, you can actually add up to 4. So you can actually add more photos if you want to. So I'm going to send a couple of photos of my dad there. Reply. As well as sending a GIF or a photo, you might be asked to comment with your favourite emoji, like this one here, to win a fragrance. Comment your favourite emoji, so that's sending a reply, or just scroll down, type in this box. To add an emoji, click the little smiley face, or you can bring up your emoji keyboard on a mobile device. The one that I use the most is the Lucky Clover, of course. So you can search for that and select it. And I'm just going to add a little comment as well and send that. Now, don't forget, you can add photos, GIFs and emojis to any tweet. Even if the promoter's not asking for it, that is a really good way to make your entry stand out if you can find something relevant or fun to add to your entry. I found another competition here from Bon Marché where they're actually asking you to reply with a picture or a link. So I'm just going to show you how you would enter this one. You'd start off, of course, by following them. Even though they don't ask you to, I always follow. Reply with a picture or link of the swimwear you would love. So open the link and then choose what you'd like to win. Now, to get a photograph off a website, you can either right click, save image as, save it to the desktop, or you can just take a screenshot. So print screen on a PC. If you're on a Mac, you can use Command Shift and 4 and then just drag around to take a screenshot. If you're on a phone, if you use an Apple device, it is the power button and the home button at the same time, and it will click. And then for different mobile devices, there's different ways of doing it. So I've taken a screenshot of that. I've also saved the photo to my desktop so I can get it either of those ways. And to copy the link, click 3 times in the top, Command C to copy, close the window down, back to Twitter. So I'm going to tweet my reply here, and I'm actually going to add a photo and a link. So to add my photo, I click there. The screenshot will be on my desktop, and also the picture there that I took will be on my desktop. So I'm going to add that photograph there. Mentioning the name of the bikini that I like, the Dorina, added the photograph. I'm also going to paste in the link there too and send. Now, a Twitter party is something I want to briefly mention. Unfortunately, there's none happening at the moment while I'm making this video. Twitter party takes part usually over an hour or an hour and a half, and you tweet using a unique hashtag. In this case here, Paw Patrol Treasure Hunt. There's different ways they can be run. There's usually a sponsor and a couple of hosts. So in this case, the sponsor is Paw Patrol Live. They've provided the prizes and they used a couple of bloggers to run it. And you would follow the sponsor and the hosts. You tweet during the party using the unique hashtag. There might be questions to answer, or it might just be fun conversation. Winners are usually chosen at random, and you will usually find out straight after the party, or it could be a few days afterwards. There's not that many Twitter parties in the UK, but if you do know one's coming, put it in your diary because there's not usually that many people who take part in them, so it's a good chance of winning. If you are taking part in one and you know how to set shortcuts on your mobile device, copy the hashtag and put that into your shortcut. So every time you type a couple of letters, it will automatically fill out the hashtag. It means you can get more tweets out during the party, get more entries in the draw. So I've shown you how to enter different kinds of competitions on Twitter, and to do that I showed you each tweet in an individual window. But you're going to be entering loads of competitions from what you see on your own Twitter timeline. So I'd like to just give you some ideas on the best way to do that. A bit of Twitter etiquette for compers, if you like. So I'm going to scroll through my feed and just show you the kind of things that I'm going to see there. So for example, here I've got a competition. It's a retweet competition, and you can see at the top here that Emma has retweeted it. I follow Emma, that's why I see it on my feed. So I want to enter this competition, easy enough. I'm going to hover over that to see if I follow them. I don't, so I can click there to follow. Now I'm going to retweet this competition. When I retweet that, Emma will get a notification to say that I've retweeted her retweet. That isn't a problem. The whole idea of Twitter is that you share things. It's viral. You retweet something, someone else sees it, they can retweet it. It's not a problem. The only problem is if you do loads of retweets at the same time from one person, and that person will keep getting notifications that you've retweeted them. It can get a bit annoying. Most compers, to be honest, they don't mind it, but some people do mind. So be careful. If you're retweeting loads of things from the same person, try and split them up. Now, as well as retweeting this, I want to reply. Quite often I will reply to a competition, even if it's a retweet one, just so I've got an interaction going with the promoter. It also means that my timeline isn't all retweets. So I'm going to click to reply to this tweet. Now, what you'll notice here, when I click to reply, it says replying to Ruby and Scarlet and Starshine for me. Ruby and Scarlet is the promoter, it's their competition. But because Starshine for me, Emma, retweeted it and it was in my feed, she's automatically tagged in this conversation. I don't want to mention her in this tweet. It's annoying for her. All she did was enter a retweet competition. She doesn't want to see my reply in her mentions. So I'm going to untick that, take Emma out of the conversation. That is the polite thing to do. All I want to do is reply to the promoter. So I'm sending my reply only to Ruby and Scarlett now. It's not going to bother Emma. She won't see it. She'll know that I retweeted, but she won't get a reply in her mentions on Twitter. Here's another retweet in my feed that Sabrina has retweeted. Now, if I retweet this, the company doesn't know that I did it via somebody else. They just see it as my retweet from Super Lucky Die. So you don't need to worry that they will see it came via somebody else or that you've invalidated somebody else's entry by retweeting them. It really doesn't matter. Now, if you're still keen to retweet without the compa knowing that you've retweeted, you can just click to go to the profile page of the promoter, find the competition and retweet from there. And then Sabrina won't get a notification that I did it via her retweet. So I've shown you how to enter different kinds of competitions on Twitter. Here's how you can find comps. First place to start is, of course, your timeline, but that's only if you're following plenty of brands and also lots of compas. If you are, you're going to get loads of new content all the time here. So you're always going to see competitions on your feed. I'm going to quickly enter this one, otherwise I'll forget about it later. So you can enter all these competitions from your timeline. Another way to find them is to go and look at the profiles of other compers. Now, I've got Nikki here, Glam and Geeky, and she said it's fine for me to show her profile on here. Nikki actually blogs as well, and she does quite a few good blogs about comps with lots of tips for Twitter, actually. So on her Twitter timeline here, on her profile page, she might be entering some competition. So I'm going to scroll down, and there you go. So you can find competitions on her page as well. Now, if you are going to do this and go to someone's profile page, remember what I was saying earlier about etiquette. Don't do too much tweeting from one person. So I'm going to do a couple of retweets here. I'm sure she won't mind. If you don't want to retweet directly from a profile, again, open up the profile of the company and do your retweet from here. And then Nikki won't get a notification, even though you found it on her profile page. As well as looking at her timeline, there's a great thing called Twitter lists. And these are really good. So if you click on lists on anybody's profile, you can see the list that they're a member of. So Nikki's been added to the list Compass by Carly Harper, and also lists that they're subscribed to. So Nikki here has created these 5 lists. You can see there, she's created them all. If you scroll down, she follows lists by other people as well. So if you go right down to the bottom, you can see that there's 2 lists there that I've created that Nikki follows. She subscribes to those lists so she can view the content of them. So this list here, this is the one that I probably use the most, which is Lucky Learners. Now I've got a Facebook group and the compas in there, they've agreed to be added to this list. And basically this will give you a constant feed of what they're entering, what competitions they're entering. So you can scroll down the timeline of this list and pretty much guarantee that you are always going to find new competitions on there. Again, you can retweet, you can reply from this list, but do it carefully. Don't leave compas tagged into those replies. Don't retweet too many from one person at once. But as I say, the Lucky Learners are happy for people to retweet competitions from this list. That's why they've agreed to be on it. You can also do themed lists. So there's one that I've done here for kids, which is for companies that do toys, football, magazines, kids kind of competitions. So if I view that timeline, I can scroll down and I would hopefully find some competitions there. It's a bit more tricky because you're going to see lots more stuff on this list because obviously not all these brands are constantly tweeting out competitions. So Compass profiles are a good way to find competition, whether it's stuff that they're tweeting or you can go and look at their lists as well. Don't just look at the tweets as well. Some compas, of course, are going to be sending replies to competition. So if you click on tweets and replies, You might find replies that they're sending. If you click on media, you can also see if they're sending out any photographs for competitions too. So if you find a comper who's really into creative competitions, you can have a bit of a poke around on their profile. Everything there's going to be public, so it's no problem you having a look at it. It's just using a bit of initiative to find out where there are competitions. Now, when it comes to finding competitions, Twitter search is a good place to start. So I'm clicking just in the search bar at the top here. You can see what my recent searches are: win Twitter party, win retweet. There's also saved searches. Saved searches are fantastic. You can only save a search using Twitter on website, but you can access those saved searches on a mobile device. So I'm going to start, I'll go to one of my saved searches here. So I've got win Brighton tickets. I might be looking for tickets to a family event, tickets to the football, things like that. When you get your search results, always click latest to make sure you're seeing the most recent tweets and that they're relevant, because you will find tweets from years ago. So this is a way to find competitions that are local to you. Put in your local town or city or county name to find local competitions. Other kinds of searches you can do win 5 p.m. Friday to find competitions that are closing today at 5 p.m. Again, you've got your setting on latest and you're looking for today's competitions essentially. Now, when you do get search results, sometimes you won't find the original competition tweet. For example, this one here, it's a reply from Matt. He's replying to a competition. So what I'm going to do is click the timestamp on that to go to his reply, scroll up, and there I find the original competition. So I'm going to retweet from there. If you are using search, make sure to check that the competitions are actually UK. This one here is an American one. So you will find lots of things that actually you can't enter. However, it is really quick to scroll through, and if you do see something good, you can quickly stop and enter it. Now, you can put all sorts of things in your search. You can mix up different kinds of words. For example, if you like entering competitions with a reply rather than just a retweet, you can search for win and reply. If you're looking for tickets, put tickets in there as well. Now, you don't just need to think about competitions being based on Twitter. You can use Twitter search to find any kind of competitions. Example here, win Instagram. You can find competitions that are on Instagram that have been advertised on Twitter. You can put in win, comment, Facebook to find people who are running Facebook comment competitions and sharing them on Twitter. There's loads of different things you can do with Twitter search. If you like your search results and it's working for you, click the 3 dots here, save this search. And then you can always go back. Every time you search here, you will see your saved search here, win, comment, Facebook, and then can click on it to load those results. It's a really easy way to find competitions. Of course, you can always search for hashtags. Here I've done a search on Freebie Friday, which is a classic, and Win It Wednesday on a Wednesday too. You will get results for common hashtags such as competition, but you'll get loads of stuff. So you might want to combine that with other things. So for example, if you put in competition and UK for people who are tweeting about competitions that are UK residents only. There's also the advanced search and the search filters too. So if you click to show search filters over there, click on advanced search. So for advanced search here, I want to look for family tickets, family events, and I'd like to look for either London or Brighton. I don't want to go to football matches or the theatre. So you can put all these restrictions in, and I want things that are recent. So I'm going to look from 27th of May to today, the 8th of June, and click search. Click on latest again for the latest results. You can see the really long search thread at the top there. If you like the results, click to save it. And then you can always go back anytime you go up here to your search there and click to see the results. Now, the more filters you put in, probably the less results you'll get, but it means you can be really specific in what you're searching for. Now, to give yourself the best chance of winning on Twitter, it's important to understand how people actually choose winners. There are lots of software tools you can use to do it. There are free tools as well, and the one that I tend to use is TweetDraw. And I'm going to show you how that would work to choose a retweet winner. So I've got a Del Monte competition here. I'm copying the link and I'm going to the TweetDraw page, and then you just paste in the link and pick random retweet. So you've got your random retweeter there. That is your winner. You can also use TweetDraw to pick from hashtag entries. So let's go back to that Aldi competition from earlier. If you copy that hashtag there and paste that in, pick by hashtag. Now with a hashtag, it could well be that people were tweeting not for the competition. So what I would usually do is visit the winners page. And once you've got their username, you can search for that username and the hashtag to check that he's entered the competition, and there is his entry there. Now, if I was running that competition, chosen that entry as the winner, I would then reply to him there to let him know that he was the winner. So that is a great way of picking winners. That's called TweetDraw. However, a lot of companies on Twitter don't realise that there are fair ways to choose a winner, and they will just choose by scrolling down either their mentions, their likes, or their retweets. So as an example, I'm just going to look at the retweets to this Del Monte competition. If I click on that, which is what a promoter might well be doing, you can see that every retweet, it shows your name, your username, your profile picture, and your bio. So think about that when you're entering competitions. If somebody's scrolling down to choose a winner, what are they likely to choose? Think about what you've put in your bio. Think about what your profile picture is. If you've still got the default silhouette or something like this with no bio at all, you're going to look a little bit like a bot or a spammer. So from the point of view of a small promoter, they are less likely to choose these people who've got no information. More likely to choose someone who's got a biography. They're probably using Twitter more frequently, less likely to be a comper or a bot. So do keep that in mind and make sure your profile and your bio are completed, because some people will be choosing from those lists. Now, some promoters, particularly smaller businesses, might not even be choosing from retweets. They might look at their replies in their mentions. So scroll down, see what stands out. It might well be that they decide to choose a photograph. Look, there's a lady drinking Del Monte. Why not make her our winner? Because there she is. She's clearly a fan. It's not fair, but if these people don't know how to choose a fair winner, that is quite often how they are doing it. So it might well be that they look at the retweets and they see that a blogger has retweeted it and think, oh, it's quite nice to let a blogger win because they'll probably share details of the prize and some photographs. It might well be that they see someone sharing a photograph and think, well, they're a big fan, we'll let them win. It's not fair, of course, but as a comper, you need to make your entry stand out just in case that is how they are choosing winners. So I recommend that you think about what your entry looks like. Make sure you've got a profile picture, that you're not just replying fantastic giveaway. Now, if the promoter does decide to choose manually from retweets or replies, you want to be in the most recent. So make sure that you're entering towards the end of the competition, if at all possible. Then you're more likely to have your entry seen if they're scrolling through and manually choosing a winner. So tips for Twitter competitions. Make your entry stand out if you can, even if it is just a retweet and follow. You never know which promoters are going to look at their replies and pick from those. For example, this one here, match tax cards. Not actually many entries. It's a retweet and follow. 54 retweets so far. I've already retweeted it and liked it. I can see that there's only 4 people replied. I'm going to reply and I'm going to add a photograph of my son, Ryland, and he's got his own match tax card. So that's quite a handy thing to have a photo of for football competitions. So I'm going to reply with that photograph. It makes my entry stand out a little bit. You could also send a relevant or a funny GIF. You can send some emojis. Something like that just makes your entry stand out. And if you've got loads of photos saved on your mobile phone, why not just send the odd one to just accompany your tweet? Another tip is to make your profile look good. Now, my profile really will be very different to yours because I'm a blogger. My profile really is about Super Lucky. It's not about winning competitions. I don't think I win many Twitter competitions because I'm a comper and my profile is all about comping. And you should think about that too, because not all promoters like compers. If they see comping or comper in your bio, they might not choose you deliberately. So you need to make your profile look like you're a regular Twitter user. You're there for the platform. You're not just there for the competitions. So make sure you've got a profile picture, ideally one of your face, but it can be of anything. Add a nice photo at the top. Have a nice bio. Your username, don't have a username that's full of numbers, one of those default Twitter ones. Change it as soon as you can to something a bit more memorable. On your profile, pin a tweet to the top. Pin something there that's not competition related, something that's fun or relevant or about your family, so that if a promoter does visit your page, the first thing that they see isn't a competition entry. What you want to do as well is avoid getting a shadow ban on Twitter. A shadow ban is where you will be removed from search for up to 72 hours. Basically, Twitter thinks you're a spammer. You're sending out too many retweets, too many with the same hashtag. You're not sending out enough quality content. So make sure you're interacting with people on Twitter, whether that's friends or the compers, companies. Make sure you're tweeting original content, not just doing a whole batch of retweets at once. And just spread your tweets out. Those sort of things will help Twitter see that you're a normal user and not an automated or a spam or a bot account. So how do you find out if you've won a competition on Twitter? Well, if you've won something, generally the promoter will either mention you in a tweet, so it'll appear on your notifications tab under mentions, or they will send you a message. If you don't follow them, it will go to your requests in your message inbox here. So check that as well as your regular inbox regularly. What you might also want to do is the occasional search just on your name with the word winner or congratulations, just in case you've missed something. You can also search for your username without the "at" in front of it. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is something called Tweetdeck. You can only use Tweetdeck on a computer. You cannot use it on a mobile device. And you can either download the Tweetdeck app or you can use it online on the website at tweetdeck.com. Now, Tweetdeck is amazing if you like entering Twitter competitions. It is such a useful tool, and that's because you can see all sorts of timelines at once. So you can add all these different columns. So what we're looking at here on the left, this is my main Twitter timeline. And if we go towards the right, I've got search columns here. So I've got a search here for kids competition, for Father's Day competition, for Freebie Friday, 5 p.m. win. And then I've got my mentions there. And what you can do is you can add columns. So I'm just going to click and show you quickly how I would add a list. So click on add columns. As I mentioned, you can show tweets from a certain user. You can add your own notifications. You can add your messages, mentions. I'm going to add a list, and I'm going to add my lucky learners list, which is full of competitions, which is here. And then add column. So once you've added that column, close the window. It's going to be added right to the end of all your columns. So on the left here, I've scrolled down and I want to move Lucky Learners to column 2. So we'll see it on the screen. So this is the feed from my Lucky Learners list, which is all the Compass tweets. So you can see that that's refreshing live. Now, if you've got a column with a list in, you can actually search that. So click filters at the top and then click tweet content. And I want to see if any of the compers that I know are tweeting competitions to win tickets. So put your words in and then simply click that arrow, click at the top, and that is going to show you any tweets that mention win tickets. So that's really handy. If you've got lists set up, you can search them for something specific like that. Over here, I've got the column with kids competition. Again, click filter. So the tweet content matching kids competition. Click on there. You can say that you don't want to see retweets because you might see some repetition if you do. And you can see that you only want to see tweets from the last month or so. So you can interact with any tweet here on Tweetdeck by replying and retweeting and liking underneath. If you do send a reply, you can't add photographs in Tweetdeck here. But if you want to go to the original tweet, you simply click on the timestamp and that will open in its own browser window. And you can just reply as usual here, adding any photographs or GIFs if you want to. Now, Tweetdeck does look quite complicated and I can't tell you too much about it in this video because it would take me ages. But if you've got time and you've got a computer, have a look at the website, sign in and give it a go, because it can be really valuable. If you've got time to spend comping, then an hour spent on Tweetdeck, you will find so many new competitions doing it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. Ask any questions below in the comments if there's anything you're not sure about. I'm going to leave some useful links too. And hopefully I'll see you soon, either on Twitter or over at my blog at superlucky.me.